All right, so here's an example of a question you might be expected to answer. So this says, label the angle of elevation and angle of depression and calculate the indicated angles. Now, in this case, it's talking about as if this is the horizontal line right here. The dashed line is the horizontal line. So from here, from this point, let's call it point A, um, what is the angle of elevation, the angle of depression, and can we find both of those? So we've got like kind of a grainy version of theta right here. This is a grainy version of, I believe it's alpha. That might be gamma. I can't remember. It's a Greek symbol. It's just a way to represent an angle. Okay. Uh, but I've got an angle here from there to there is 44 degrees. Uh, I also have a potential angle here and I have a potential angle here. And we know that this angle here is 90 degrees. So we've got a few options. We want to label the angle of elevation and angle of depression. So from point A, what is this angle 44 degrees? Is it an angle of elevation or an angle of depression? Well, from the horizontal, I am going down 44 degrees to this line right here. So this is an angle of depression because it means we're going down. To find an angle of elevation, I have to go to a new horizontal. So I've actually got this horizontal line right here from this point. Let me do that in a different color. So to here, this is a horizontal. And we could say then that the angle here, if we go up from the horizontal in this direction, the angle here is an angle of elevation. Now, we know that the angle of depression equals 44 degrees because it's given to us. This angle of elevation here in the red at the bottom, this angle of elevation here, what is the measure of that angle? Well, I'm going to give you a property that we would go into a little bit more detail if we were in class, but I call it the Z property. You might have just heard my cat jump up onto my lap there. So this property is if I've got like a horizontal line here and a horizontal line here, well, that implies that these two lines are parallel with each other. So that's what that little symbol means. If these two lines are parallel, well, then this angle right here and this angle right here are equal to each other. That's only if these two lines right here and right here are horizontal, okay, or if they're parallel to each other. So if this is 44 degrees, this angle, well, then this angle would have to be 44 degrees as well. So the angle of elevation would also be 44 degrees, okay? So then the question doesn't necessarily ask for this, but I could then find, if I redraw that triangle, if I know this is 44 degrees, I could then find this angle theta right here. Of course, I would take 90, add 44, which is 134. And then I would take 180 and subtract 134. And that would equal 46. And so that angle up there would be 46 degrees. So there's a way to find all of those angles basically, but yeah, we found the angle of depression, we found the angle of elevation, and then this property that I just taught you is something that's important to remember if you've got two parallel lines, here and here, this angle from the horizontal down and this angle from the horizontal up are equal to each other. I hope that makes sense.